Feels strange to say good morning, you beautiful people, when I've already posted 2 shorts this morning. But I quickly wanted to show you, we're planting a daisy that I think was a bit hot in the greenhouse. And so we're bringing her out. You see, she's got some new growth. And we've got wet soil. I believe we have wet soil because of that little swale there. Whenever it rains, the water runs out here and goes there, makes a little pool here, or one big pool here, and then it runs into the papaya patch that's now dying. It's amazing how this place just turned brown overnight. But anyway, I'm so glad, less than a shovel deep, and we've got some serious moisture in the soil, nice and cool. Smells wonderful. So we're going to add some compost to that hole and then plant the daisy. I don't know what happened to the focus. So this is our mix. A shovel full of biochar, 2 shovels of compost, a couple of hands filled with perlite. You can mix it properly. I think this is going to be quite a nice mix. I know the biochar hasn't been charged yet. I think we'll be okay. There's quite a lot of compost in there, so the plant will be able to find its roots. Okay, then let's wet it quickly and then we can put this one on top. Just cut it open with a knife nicely so we don't damage the roots. Okay, so we are at Manette's house. This is the beginning of Sue B's garden project. Now we always bring a couple bags of spinach whenever we come, so the kids can have some iron in their bodies. And we brought some compost, so we'll be bringing daily when we come. Now for the next 10 days we'll be bringing 3 bags of compost, so at the end of the day we should have 30 bags of compost. Let me just show you the before quickly. This is the before. Show you more before footage. Sue B, as the project has actually started a while ago. We already bought toys with some of her funds. We did electricity. We did loads of things for Manette already. We have some of the celebration of Sue's birthday. So we decided to stagger it a little bit. Okay, but this is the rest of the before. And now let me show you the after. So I actually wanted to sit down with a tripod and make this video between the pigs, but I don't think that's gonna happen. They keep on knocking over my tripod. And I received a question regarding the pigs. It is a question from Wasp. Now Wasp, please don't feel like I'm picking on you. It's just something that I've been thinking as well for a long time, is when does permaculture become permaculture? So you saw, why do I call them permaculture pigs? And the principles for raising pigs differ in a permaculture setting versus a commercial setting. Now I agree with that. The principles does differ a bit, but you say that you should only feed them what you have available on your land. So your land should be able to maintain the animals. If you have to buy in vast amounts of food, then it's no longer a permaculture pig, then it's just a commercial pig or a commercial animal, like the broilers for instance. We bought in basically all the food the broilers could eat. Now, where I agree with you is that raising animals differs the permaculture way in the normal way. And so the permaculture principles, the permaculture ethics is earth care. So in other words, make sure the pigs are happy, which I think these ones are very happy. Make sure the earth benefits from it. In other words, take the compost and recycle it. And then the last one is share the abundance. So don't get greedy. And I don't think we're getting greedy with our pigs either. But then it becomes, then you can say, okay, this is a permaculture pig because now it's doing all of those things. But then you look at permaculture design and you can say, is this a permaculture design? So ideally what you want to do in a permaculture design is you want to take an element like a pig and make it part of your big system. Now, they are integrated into the broader system. Between Cornell and I, we bring in 2 trailer loads of wasted food from town every week, and I get fed to the pigs. So that way we use them in the broader system to recycle waste. Are they used for land management? Is there some sort of rotational grazing? Now, we don't have a proper rotational grazing set up at the moment. They've been used to clear the pumpkin patch, which they did a really great job of, and at the moment they're just here. The main thing with pigs in this area is they clear everything, they shuffle around everything, so you have to take that into account. There is not enough forest for them to graze around, and there's not enough infrastructure for them to graze around and become part of the land. So the design part of the pigs isn't as great yet. We can use them to compost the horse manure a bit faster. We could have had them right next to Mikon's garden to help with the the recycling of waste product there. There's a couple of things that we could have done differently, and we will eventually do things like that. So our system isn't integrated as much as possible. So I think it was Bill Mollison that said, so work is a sign of a bad design, and work, which is also buying of food, driving there, buying food, bringing that back, that's a sign of a bad design. So we could definitely make the design better. We can definitely have them more integrated into everything. I don't think it disqualifies them from becoming permaculture pigs if we buy food for them. The waste from the pigs goes into the land, so they really are beneficial to the earth at the moment. Definitely beneficial to the earth. And then they support the farm. So our system isn't perfect, we need to turn a profit. And the same with the broiler. We need to make a profit with our chickens. So we need to either eat or produce something to sell, etc. Now the broiler race or species that we selected, I think was wrong to start off with. They're very finicky. If you don't give them factory conditions, then they die. I am going to try that species at least one more time to see if I introduce them into the wild a little bit sooner, whether they won't perform any better, and if I stagger the food, whether they won't perform any better than our previous ones. We made quite a profit on our last ones, but I wasn't as happy with how they lived. You know, they weren't running around. They basically laid, ate food here, drank water. They were happy, but they were, almost factory chickens. The compost from those chickens goes into the gardens. They were happy. They looked after the earth. And still, I would still consider them a permaculture chicken. But it can be better. Your system can always be better. So that's what I think about permaculture. I would really like to hear your opinion on that. We have the same question about the vegetable garden at the moment. We took the trees away, we're planting everything in neat rows, and I see it as permaculture in the way Jeff Lawton sees it as permaculture. There's more organic matter going into the earth day after day after day. We're definitely looking after the earth. We're definitely looking after people. I mean, most of that spinach or chard is going to manettes. We are eating, our family is eating, there's many people eating from that garden, so there's looking after people. Somebody is employed, fixing the garden the whole time. So definitely looking after people. But is it the perfect design? You know, can we integrate chickens? Can we integrate pigs? Can we integrate trees, which we are doing? All of those things is in the pipeline. I would already consider it a permaculture project because it goes through the ethics. I would just not consider it a perfect permaculture design just yet. And so I think there's a difference between saying something is not permaculture and saying something is a bad design. Sorry, this guy's licking my leg the whole time. This one, I think they are so curious. Very, very intelligent animals. In any case, that is going to be my end of my story for today. Really like to hear your feedback. Oh, the perlite used in that planting the daisy. Now, I just wanted to see how she's doing with perlite. It's not, I don't suggest using perlite in the veld. Perlite is for potting, so just keep that in mind. It's just an experiment. That is the end of my story. Have a wonderful day.